the moment I got Signavio, I was thought that, oh, it is a good, tool to have, which can run it through the system, and then especially the mining, right? So we can pull the data and then try to understand what's going on, and it's much faster than task mining. Because task mining, and when we talk about processes, let's say for a simple understanding, let's take an example of value streams, which is commonly used in supply chain, right? OTC, P2P, those being like a level 1, and level 7 is basically the actual user who performs the task, right? Which is automation. So if you look at that perspective, going after the level 7 is what task mining does. But if I go with a level 4 or level 5, what I get is basically at a cross-functional level. At a functional level, I can understand where the contention point is, which is causing my level 1 to slow down, right? So that is where Signavio comes in picture. So it gives me both from the left side and the right side, how I wanted to optimize. I already have a solution like automation and API integrations. There are a few more levers that we can bring in to the table. But this side of the point is basically where to go after is what I found very interesting. So then basically after I got in, being, like an enthusiastic, basically, when I digged in deeper and deeper, what I found is it is not just automation. So way beyond, because the original BPM principle, how I can accomplish that, and which is what basically one of the digital transformation failure costs is that there are a lot of disciplines has set some expectations, but most of them are unmet expectations, right? So I was seeing that, okay, hey, how I can leverage this platform to make and establish those unmet expectations to make it as an meet the expectations. So that's the interesting part for me.
Perfect, Murali. We are already close to the end of time, but I will not let you go today without actually having to enter in the last kind of topics. I want to and go crazy on it, but what do you think will we see down the line in terms of technological advances or how other technologies come together? Maybe we will have a different kind of automation. What about AI? What is your take on what's next in this realm?
Okay, so before I say anything, I just wanted to put some kind of a context to it. So before I talk about AI, right? So I spent almost like 10, 15 years now, specifically focused on, and my heritage is basically from somehow into 2007. Actually, I started researching about neuroscience, understanding about how brain works, psychological behaviors, and just for the understanding of learning, right? And then that actually dragged me into the AI space, and I've been revolving around for a very long time. Okay, so I do have gained some decent knowledge on that, but with that being said, okay, I'm just going to I wanted to be wrong there, but so in long story short, right, the generative AI is another instrumental piece, right? So it has a potential. Okay, so there are two contexts, right? So one, how enterprise will consume the generative AI. Not in the near term, but definitely in the long term, it is going to be a pivotal point, right? Especially, for example, even for us, basically, right? When we talk about digital twins, my way of definition of digital twin is basically, again, from the process point of view, task can be performed by bots. Activities can be only performed by SMEs. How generative AI can integrate that? That's a question. And when we want to bring in a digital twin for each of the SME roles, specialized roles, to make the decision, or more even instead of replacing the SME, augmenting the SME to support more with like a loaded gun, right? That is the power of generative AI, right? And how it is going to be applied, and how it is, and another key factor is basically the LLM piece that we talk about, large language model. So how to use the enterprise data feeding into the LLM, okay, and create a corpus, our own corpus. That is where it will take some time for people to digest, because there is no platforms. Honestly, there are platforms. For example, recently Databricks acquired a company, super platform. Actually, it is from an performance wise, it's the top of the line. But still, end of the day, in enterprise, we are common man, right? So we need to understand how it works, to adopt. Basically, you see that, like even the technical folks can understand it, but the non-technical folks, how do I convince my leadership team? There are a lot of questions. I have to satisfy my risk governance, all those people to, if I have to bring in something in that. And AI basically comes with a lot of responsibility as well. So especially in the enterprise, we are by to, the regulatory compliance, right? So there are a lot of questions. It's not about practical implementation. There is also other dimension to it, basically to make it work in an enterprise context. So in that context, basically, I see that generative AI will take its own shape. It will slowly progress, but in some areas, basically like mid-market, SME markets, you would definitely have, today we have a lot of tools for content generation and chatbots, and FAQs and stuff like that. That you will definitely see. That will have a different, way of progression. So from an automation point of view, right? So I basically got into automation in 2016 to 17 timeframe. The automation that I saw on that day, and again, when I came to automation also, it was like, because it is robotics, I was actually thinking that I'm building something AI tool, right? Actually, it is not. So, but the way I experienced automation that time frame and today, there's a lot of shift, right? There are a lot of, other than core automations, just repetitive task automation, there are a lot of progress have been made, right? We brought in IDP for digitization, and we have chatbots integrated for customer experience and much more, right? So today, basically what I see, I mean, in the future, I see the automation will take a complete shift in terms of, to me, basically what I see is that, microbots, okay, like a microservices, same concept, right? We don't want to build one more time a monolithic application or to get it convoluted, right? We wanted to create automations in the same context of microbots taking some specific, activities at the micro level. The only question is it going to be integratable, both left and right, right? Can both automations talk together? Can they harmonize? That is one, long way to go, right? Second thing is basically the expectation on bots also, interoperability. It's a major challenge. So because today, one problem with the customers is that whether ABC product or any product, right? There is always, because it is very evolutionary, because customers do bring in, wanted to migrate from A to B or B to C, whatever, that is not going to change. So, and at the same time, customers don't want to get locked also, right? So what happens is the interoperability between the platforms today needs to be happening, right? So it should happen. Otherwise, what will happen is basically you're locking the customer. The moment they feel that it is not fitting the bill, you have to lose them. So instead of losing them, we have to somehow create that, pathway of, how, I can build once, run anywhere. That's another way to go, right? So, and with all these two, combined with the process automation and the process modeling, so at least the enterprise point of view, it's always an aspiration to have the holistic view, so starting from the CXO level to the process owners, how the organization performing, right? Today, it is not in real time. So I would basically see that, as we move forward in that, intelligent enterprise, right? So we should see that, any segment of people should be able to understand what's going on and be more responsive and reactive and proactive as well. So that's my take on how this will evolve.
Well, thanks a lot. Really, very, very many interesting insights. Also for me, I learned today, that we are all the common men. I have to definitely agree on so many aspects. It's a lifelong, yes, it's a lifelong journey. I really enjoyed how you really also mentioned the aspects of the scalability. It's really a different game in the enterprise scale. But I really can only triple underline the importance of the automation interoperability, because this is something really we have to use, because otherwise we are getting fragmented and dispersed in different directions again. Well, with that, we are really at the end of the time. But Murali, I really enjoyed that talk. Lots of insights, lots of things for me also to digest. Thanks for being on this Tea with Tea, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Thank you.
Thank you so much.